Yes, guys, welcome back to SFeatleyTV, and we're here for the rest view. It's the first rest view of the new season, right? So make sure you do smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, hit the share button as well, right? This is the good, the first, original rest view, right, by SFeatleyTV. So we're back again, for a new season. Oh, you got Josh, who's also a referee himself. We had we got 1892 Red Podcast. He'll be on as well, but he can't make it this week. But he should be back for next week. So, but Josh, how are you, man? Welcome to the rest of you, by the way.
Thank you very much. I'm doing very well. I'll try not to give anything too controversial. I'll do my best to give.
No. Say it how it is, bro. Say it how it is. You know, it's stay real and I'm just gonna say, by the way, don't forget, this is despite him being a ref, this is how we all feel about the race, and I should play this for the start of every video.
Booking!
Come on, ref. Fucking England.
Fucking waste of space.
Come on, ref.
I know. I got
the ref. Fuck the ref.
Fucking hell, you have to clip that, Stephen. Jesus Christ, what am I saying?
Fuck the ref. Simple as that. Not you, obviously, but the Premier League referees, you know what I mean. We're going to match day 1, and I want to start at Arsenal, naturally. But the main reason I started Arsenal is the first goal that I saw. Now, there is a case where the ball crossed the line. Now, for me, I don't think it did. But the fact it was so close to crossing the line, surely I feel that VAR should have had a look at that. I don't think they did.
What decision was it?
You know where the first goal went in, as he cleared it, as he cleared the ball upfield, it looked like the ball crossed the line. Chambers did. It looked like the ball crossed the line as he had cleared it. So cleared the touchline, so it should have gone out for a goal kick. So the idea was that at least I should have expected at least a VAR check on it. It didn't look like there was any check or at all on it. I know they do check sometimes without the TV showing that they're checking, which I think is wrong. We should know when they're checking the game. We should know when they're checking, by the way. But yeah, I want to see your take on it. First of all, did you think it crossed the line? And 2, should they be checking on such decisions, especially when it leads to a goal?
I do think the ball went out of play. Yes, the ball. I think the ball from the camera angles that we're showing using the TV coverage. Obviously, VAR also has more exclusive coverages, more different angles, more angles that you're able to officially make your decision on. I do think the ball did cross the line, but there was a change within the VAR setup. There's been a big overhaul within how VAR works over the course of this season, which we've already massively seen, especially with Bruno Fernandes' goal against Leeds. Is that VAR will no longer check incidents like that. They basically, the reason why it changed is they basically found out that there was too many inconclusive pictures, too many inconclusive times where they were unable to tell if the ball went out of play for a goal kick or something, and for that reason it is no longer on the agenda of VAR.
In that case, do you feel there should be a camera on the line on both sides of the goal? So there's I know people saying they could get over stewards, but if you're leading to a goal in that point, it could mean a lot of things. So for me, I would have said you put beautiful. Just by the way, guys, he's not going for a piss. I just want to I feel that they should have a camera on each side of the line, your Champions League. They have line markers on the goal line.
Not anymore. Not since
VAR. But they used to have before. I think they should do it for for these decisions, because if it leads to a goal, that could have a detrimental effect on the game. Which it did. It sort of put us on the back foot. I mean, look, by the way, I'm not excusing the fact Arsenal was shit, by the way. We should deserve to lose that game. But surely, it's something we need to look at.
I can't say it. VAR, if ever since VAR was introduced in the Champions League, or sorry, in the Euro, sorry, the thing about VAR is that it's there to turn obvious and clear errors, and to watch a ball go over the line in such a quick amount of time, if it's very slight, doesn't fall under that agenda. Also, for those cameras to be introduced, you have to get the TV. The TV rights, which would be the Premier League commissions of TV rights, who record all the Premier League games, so then goes to BBC and Sky Sports. They would have to the Premier League would then have to pay money. They would also have to get permission from UEFA and from IFAB to do that, because it doesn't follow the VAR standard of agenda. So I can't see it happen. You'll probably see this happen a lot. I do know. Commentators were on the BBC were making this we're making this thing about Son took a shot at goal ahead of the City defender, but it was given as a goal kick. And some people are saying should VAR be able to overturn if a goal kick or corner is given incorrectly wrong. Again, that's just not on the agenda. It's just not what they do. It's a very good point, look, because it could, if that was in a cup final and a relegation game, and in something, it could be a massive difference. But I wouldn't hold your breath on it changing, because it's not VAR, just will not be used for reasons like that.
Yeah, obviously. The second goal, Reverence is like my only concern that these English refs will continue to make the huge errors, because how a second goal of the Brentford was allowed is beyond me. Also, how was the Burnley goal allowed? Right. So I will get to that in the Burnley goal in a minute. And by the way, Stephen could get his 4th next season in the Championship. That is lol. Yes, big up Anthony in the chat. We will put the link if we get time we should get time at the end, so we should put the link at the end. So So Brentford's second goal. What did you make of that? Because, be honest, I was so pissed off with the team. I didn't really care. Right. I thought like fucking serves you right, to be honest. But what do you say?
I'm going to get up on my phone here just very quickly, so I can I'll be able to now give you a better answer if I've actually got Fincher in front of me. So just give me 2 seconds while I've got a 20 second. All of those 20 YouTube 20-second adverts that you can't skip, because Sky Sports obviously run money.
Yeah.
But I have a rough feeling what the second goal is. I think it was the one that people were questioning about.
The one was throw. Yeah, there were long throw in. Just seemed to be in the middle.
Yes, I'm just looking at here there was no impingement on Bernd Leno. Basically,
no.
Goalkeepers have a high level of protection within the law book. Bernd Leno would have been allowed to near enough shove the Brentford man out of the way, and nothing would have been given. Bernd Leno was quite weak. He kind of he let that guy bully him, pretty much. He just let him bully him, and there's no impatience whatsoever, no foul, no push, no nothing. It was just Bernd Leno not particularly doing well in the goalkeeping aspect of things. So that goal was correctly given.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't believe it. So any Arsenal fan that sits there, again, it goes, oh, it's the referees that's so against us. Oh my God. Like, go stick your head in the boiler, man. Stick your head in the boiler. I'm not an Arsenal fan that's going to sit there and accept that and blame the refereeing decisions every fucking time we lose a game. It's the referee. It's not Arteta. It's the ref. It's the ref. It's the ref. No. Not hearing it this season. I'm not hearing it last season. Last season I didn't hear it. I'm not hearing it this season. I'm not hearing it the next season or the season after that. I'm not hearing it at all. It's not happening, right? Everyone gets the same amount of bad decisions, right? The same as Arsenal do, right? If you can't accept that, get lost. Simple for me. What do you say on that?
From a referee's point of view, I've refereed a fair few games, and there isn't such thing. I spoke to a lot of referees, at least over here in Northern Ireland, and there never is such thing as a bias. There's no such thing as so. I know sometimes there may always look like there is, but we try not to have such thing as a bias. A biased position on the pitch. Each referee has their own interpretation on things. Each referee will take a game differently. Some referees will let games flow. It'll be hard to challenge it. Some will blow the whistle for a tiny thing. So you know, the laws of the game these days are so up. I've said this as a referee personally. I find the laws to be very up in the air, in terms of certain things. Like, you know, it's not as black as white as saying, right, this is a free kick, that's a penalty, and that's it. A lot of what football is now is interpretation. That's why VAR has been extremely inconsistent in the Premier League, because there's been no actual proper guidelines. It's more up to the referee to look at and decide what he thinks more than what it is and what it isn't. If you understand what I'm trying to say, so and that's what the offsides were for the first 2 years of the Premier League. So it's very much it's not the fact that teams are biased. It's just, I think the laws aren't particularly clear, and they change very, very often. It's very difficult for referees to be consistent week in, week out, because each referee will do something different each game, and each game will be very different within the way it's played. It's very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, it's always going to be very difficult no matter what. So for me, it's look. Don't forget, the refereeing job is probably one of the hardest jobs. It's probably the hardest job to do in football, right? Having to be the non-biased opinion, and like the way sometimes the players treat refs is absolutely disgusting at times. And to be honest, they should treat it like the referee refs. Where if you start treating the ref badly, bye, missing you already. Good night, missing you already. So yeah, so for me, I don't like it when the referees get crowded by the fans, by the players, sorry, and try to get a decision influenced by surrounding the referee. But again, they make so many stupid mistakes that you wonder why sometimes they get crowded by the referee. By players. It's not right, but you do wonder why. Because like some of the decisions are just mind-boggling.
Well, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm 19, so you know I'm a classified as a youth referee, and on Saturday there, I was asked by a family member to referee the team that he plays for, and this was for the reserve game, and these were adults. These are 25, 30-year-olds, right? And this was just a friendly, and I was the referee. So I was a 19-year-old referee in a senior game, which isn't very hard off. It's because it's a friendly and because it was for charity and all. It was okay, but I was getting called excessive words. I was getting questioned about qualification. People they were questioning my decision making. They were questioning my fitness. They were questioning, am I fit to be a referee? And people they don't know, it's different for the Premier League referees such as Mike Dean, Martin Atkinson, Craig Porson, you know, people who've all been in the job for absolutely years, you know, they're used to it. But see, for someone like myself growing up as a referee and getting this abuse week in, week out, even if you're having a perfect game, you will get abuse because coaches and players will call for everything regardless if it's a free kick, a penalty or not. It's a very difficult thing. You have to be mentally strong. There's been times where I have questioned myself as a person with it. There was once when I was followed out of the ground by a coach giving me abuse and threatening to beat me up. You know, to be a referee, it is not easy, because you're a human being. You're responsible. Like on that Saturday, you think about that full size of the pitch. I see at that level. You don't see it in Premier League games because Premier League teams are always equipped. Always equipped and have the resources, especially in England. But over here, we, especially for those lower league friendlies, referees, there's only one referee. There isn't any linesman, so we have to watch the offsides on the pitch. We don't have people on the line. We have to watch the offsides from the middle of the pitch. We have to try and call offsides when we don't have a direct look of the line, and we get serious abuse for it. And people don't understand how hard it is to be a referee mentally, physically. And the pressure that you have, because you're one man, you've got no referee team, you're one man with a max of 40 players, including coaches, subs, and on-field starting 11s. It's a very difficult thing to deal with, and it's hard to I would not put that on anyone. You have to be a referee. You need to be 100% dedicated, and that's what I've done. And Yeah, I've experienced probably everything possible so far in my short 4 years as a referee.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have also like a strong sense of character on there and a strong mentality to be able to deal with the shit you get from being a referee. And yeah, sorry, just so just putting this quick comment in. Oh God. Anyway, right. Anyway, just for it again. Jade, big up Ankit and Jade in the chat, man. Please donate to CLDF via super chat or join the membership scheme to really help with our fundraising. Thank you. If you could do that, that'd be great. So please do that if you can. Yeah, we're gonna move on to the next game, and Man United leads now. Don't know the offside rules. Have they changed to that new rule that was going to come in, or is it the same?
The offside rule itself, in terms of the actual offside interpretation, has not changed. But what has changed is the way that VAR will look at it. So basically, instead of the lines being drawn that are really like the thinnest lines that you can possibly use, the lines are now thicker. What this basically does is this will give the benefit of the doubt to the attacker. That basically means that the line will not be as precise, meaning that you can't they won't be able to basically say that he is 1 centimeter offside. The line makes it physically impossible to tell that. So with the line being thicker, it means that even if your toe or your knee is slightly offside, it can't be detected by VARs, by the VAR lines, meaning that the benefit of the attackers will get goals. So I would be very surprised if we see any more 1 millimeter, 1 centimeter, any toe, nails, anything. We should not be seeing any offsides like that this year. It's not actually because the law has changed. It's just the way that the lines are thicker, meaning the VAR cannot give a 1 meter rule because the lines are so thick that it's impossible to give it.
So they're not doing the same like the rule that sort of Arsene Wenger came up with.
No, it was looked at but very quickly dismissed. Also,
thank fuck for that.
Also, just to say that VAR will also no longer be showing their offside process in the stadiums or on TV. So you'll not actually be able to see what VAR are doing in terms of drawing the lines. They won't be posting on social media. All of that's kept behind closed doors, so to speak. So,
do you think that's a good idea or a bad idea? I don't think that's a good idea.
I think that's a good idea because the reason why I think it's a good idea is because it's quicker. It's quicker and it puts less pressure on the referees because having thousands of people watching every little thing you're doing rushes decisions, and I think that just takes an element of pressure, which is much needed because these referees on VAR are not Premier League referees or Championship to League One referees, so it definitely does help out in that aspect.
Okay, so in that case, then the Bruno Fernandes goal for you. For me, it looked a little offside for me. What would you say? Was that onside or offside?
What, the Bruno goal?
I think that was the first goal he scored.
Again, as I said, we don't. As I literally just said, VAR aren't showing the lines, so we don't really know what VAR based is on. But
look at camera angle, the replay that we got.
In terms of what I think VAR is following, in terms of what I think the offside rule is, I do think that goal was. I do think he was slightly offside, but I think in terms of the new VAR usage, in terms of the new aspect of the way it's going to be used, I think the goal was correctly given because it was not a clear and obvious area that the linesman was able to see, which means that the goal was rightly ruled as a goal.
Yeah, I hear that. But we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, let me just move on to the next game. After that was a Man United game, so we're gonna move on to. Chelsea versus Crystal Palace. And come to you, Josh. Did you think there was any major problems in that game? Any major decisions in the Chelsea game, or should we just skip that one?
Nope, there was nothing too worrying about.
I'd ask you what games were highly contentious for you? Just out of curiosity.
The two decisions that had massive question marks. The two games that had massive question marks. The first goal, the first one is the penalty. The first one was the penalty given by against Newcastle, and then the other one was a James Kowalski push that ended up in a Brighton goal.
Oh, is that the penalty that was missed?
Yes.
Yeah. So obviously, I didn't get a chance to see that game. I'll have to quickly double check that. But go on. What did you say? What did you make of it?
I was very surprised the penalty was given against Newcastle. As far as I was able to tell from the replays given, the ball was clearly he clearly got the ball. He didn't really impede the man. I can't remember who it was. He was slide tackling, but he didn't impede him. There was nothing that was going to stop him from being able to take that ball. It was a very fair challenge. I'm incredibly surprised that VAR did not overturn that decision. I think it was a disgraceful decision. It obviously did end up in West Ham scoring too, because even though the penalty was missed, obviously the rebound was scored. So I'm incredibly surprised that penalty was given in the first place by, I think it was Mark Atkinson was the referee, and I'm also incredibly surprised that the penalty was not overturned by VAR. I don't particularly know reasons. I don't know if again there's been. I don't know if there's been a clear law change within that that it's yet to be unknown. But I'm incredibly surprised the penalty was not overturned, because it was definitely a clear and obvious error for the penalty to be given. And I don't know why it wasn't overturned.
I'm just looking at penalty again. So it comes to Willett, and then it looked like. Well, for me, it looks like a foul to me.
No,
I'm looking at.
No, because the interpretation of getting the ball is that both feet touch the ball, and as long as the man's clearly not impeded or affected his movement or his ability to get the ball, which it wasn't. So I think it was incorrectly given.
Well, make sure to smash the like button, please. We've got a poll going up at the minute, which is: should refs get more protection by players making decisions on the pitch? Yes, 67% say yes, 33% say no so far. Please do keep doing that and smash the like button, please. Really important you do that, and we'll go check that towards the end of the show. We'll also be opening the links as well, so make sure you get more people involved by sharing the stream. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you name it, share it. Wherever you can share it, and do get involved by joining the membership scheme as well, from as little as $1.99. It really does help Children's Liver Disease Foundation. So make sure you do that now. But in the other game for you was what was the other game for you?
Sorry, the other game was the push on James Tarkowski against Brighton.
So we'll go to the Burnley Brighton game. What did you make of that?
No, I'm gonna get this on my screen. I was incredibly surprised again that this game was. I was incredibly surprised again that this was not given. So that this was not overturned, because it was a very big push on James Tarkowski that did stop him from being able to challenge for the ball, which also kind of did lead into into a goal. I'll be honest. I'm not entirely too sure why the goal wasn't over. I'm not entirely too sure why the goal wasn't overruled. I'm not entirely too sure what the reasoning was, but it just seemed very weird how VAR didn't actually do anything about it, because James Wilkowski was in a very good position, and I don't understand why it was not overturned, because he clearly got pushed in the back. There was definitely an accident of force to push him to the ground. You could see by the way he dived, by the animation in it, that it was definitely a push. So it's, again, as I said, I think about it to that free penalty is that I definitely think there's been another rule change regarding if it has to be incredibly obvious and incredibly clear for them to overturn it. But I hope that this is just a bit of a trial and error, because if we see that week in, week out, there's going to be a lot. Like, the offside contention will just be replaced by incredible contention of clear penalties that not being overruled or given. So that needs to be definitely looked at, because that was definitely should have been overturned. It was quite a disgrace that it wasn't.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like all you're gonna see like is those decisions constantly happening again, and again, it's already. It's like week one. We're already questioning about referees in the league already. It shows about the standard of refereeing we have in the game at the minute. The referees are not up to standard for the Premier League. We call it the best league in the world, but we have some of like the shittest refs in the world, right? So for me, there needs to be a major review on like how we go forward and how we improve the refereeing standards of the game. It's like we've mentioned this channel before, where there should be like a table for the referees, and like the worst referees should get like relegated to like the Championship, and the top referees in the Championship should get promoted. What's your opinion with that?
It's a really good question, because as far as I'm aware, and there isn't a punishment. There isn't actually any punishment. There isn't any punishment within the EFL that if a referee has a bad game, they get demoted. That's just not a thing. Sometimes they can be fined, but as far as there isn't any major, like they're not demoted to the Championship or they're not given a game. Sometimes referees do choose to take a week off, aka in terms of sorry, I just got a message that was confusing me. In terms of sometimes referees, such as Mike Dean, they decide to take weeks off, like Mike Dean did last year, but there isn't any demotion. Do I think it should be a thing? Absolutely, because referees do feel very entitled to their job. They don't feel like they're under any threat that they could, have a bad game and nothing could happen to them. So there definitely needs to be an element of a bigger fine or a bigger punishment for referees who do play badly. Because some referees like Anthony Taylor, Michael Oliver, who are meant to be one of some of the best officials we have over in the Premier League, do have some very questionable games at times. So there definitely needs to be an element of that. There definitely needs to be reviews of these referees monthly, because I feel like these referees are, I think the newest referee that came into the Premier League was David Coop, and he's awful. He's awful on VAR, and as an actual official on the game, he is truly awful. So there definitely needs to be a review of that.
There needs to be a major review going forward, but I'd also want to make this point as well about these refs, like I think the reason is like they don't think they need to improve so much is because like they don't get punished in any sort of way for the poor decisions they make. And that's why I do feel there needs to be some sort of punishment system that and also reward system. So like rewards managers for doing well and punishes them for doing poorly. So maybe that will have an effect on the game as well. But I want to just quickly bring up to the handball rule, because obviously no one seems to know these days what the handball rule is, or how they're recognising the handball rule for this year. Is there should be a different take on the handball rule this year to try and clear it up?
The handball rule is so difficult. I'm trying to figure out the best way to describe this. The handball's a really difficult one because it's one of those rules that no matter what you do with it, no one's going to be happy with it. Yeah, it's one of those rules that you can never have that keeps people happy. The best thing I could say about the handball rule is that they need to make it where under VAR that the handball rule only changes. It only comes into effect if it's super obvious and has a super involvement within a goal. I think the current rule that if it's a handball linking up to a goal, it's overturned. I think that's a step in the right process, but there's still a lot of unclarity. How many touches, how many passes, how many involvements does it have to have after it hits the hand before it's not given? So that needs to be massively looked at. It's one of those rules that but I do think we're taking steps in the right direction in terms of the current rule, but it definitely needs to change and be more clear.
Yeah, we have put the line. We have put the link in the chat now. Just gonna quickly go through the changes. So, like you said, offside changes. The clarification, the thin lines and the now important one to make games. Obviously, they're now thicker lines going forward. The handball rule is terrible. So, heading changes. Football have agreed a new guidance which limits the number of headers players are permitted to make. The guidance restricts to 10 higher force headers a week in restricts players to 10 high force headers a week in training. So that's like to try and limit the amount of training in heading ability that heading practices to do to sort of combat the Alzheimer's problem after when they get older. So numerous goals during the 2021 season were dislodged to handballs. Accidental handball that leads to a teammate scoring a goal or having scoring opportunity will no longer be considered as an offence in the IFAB confirmed. However, it is a handball if a player scores in the opponent's goal directly from their arm, even if accidental, or immediately after the ball has touched their arm, even if accidental. So if the player scoring does it, even if it's accidental, it's handball. But if the if his teammate does it and passes it to him, it's not a handball. What do you make of that? Because I just think they might as well just kept it the same. You might as well. I don't think it's right. I feel that if you're going to change it so your teammate can't do it, it should be the same.
It's exactly what I refer to. VAR, the handball rule, is extremely confusing. It changes year beyond year. There's no clarification on it. It's extremely difficult for referees to kind of understand what the handball rule is ourselves because they keep changing it. As I said, in my own personal opinion, the handball rule should be clear and obvious. If it has a clear involvement leading up to a goal, it should be ruled out. But other than that, it should just be left as either not a clear and obvious error, or it should just not be looked at as deemed serious enough to be turned, because they're making it too complicated year beyond year, and it becomes harder to interpret. It becomes harder to understand, and it doesn't do the football any good. Doesn't do the players any good because they don't know what to do with their hands. And it doesn't have VAR or the referee, so they need to get a grip on it. But I don't know why they're trying to overcomplicate it. It's a massive issue.
Yeah. We got Dan from TV. How you doing, mate?
I'm all right, buddy. Yourself? How are you, Josh, as well? You okay?
I'm doing very well, Dan. How are you?
I'm not too bad. If it sounds a bit distorted, literally, the reason I'm not on camera, I'm led in the bath.
You're in the bath?
I am led in the bath. Living the dream, mate. I am living the dream. Yeah, Stephen, I know it's a shock. I know it's a shock that somebody from Burnley actually cleans themselves. I know. It's a massive shock.
I'm just not trying to get any images in my fucking head.
Wait till I accidentally on purpose turn that camera on.
No. I want my channel still here, thank you. I don't want to be cancelled, thank you.
No, I'll keep it off. I'll keep it off.
Yeah, please do. Only, I think that's only your missus that says that, isn't it?
No, even she just keep it on.
Anyway, yeah. What do you make of the new way they're looking at offside with the thicker lines and the VAR, and plus also the handball rule? A, do you think the thicker lines in the offside think they'll help? B, what do you think about the offside rule changes and what they're saying about it?
First of all, I think you've got to look at the fact of how much, we always blame referees and we blame VAR, but there's always going to be problems with it when the rules are chopping and changing season in, season out. Nobody knows where they stand with football anymore. You've tried to change. They say don't fix something unless it's broken. Football was not broken. It wasn't broken at all. So why start playing around with it? You've played around with it too much now that you're trying to sort of bring it back to what it was, and you can't because you've messed around with it too much. In terms of the offside rule, though, the benefit of the doubt for the striker, I think, is a good thing, especially for the way we play with Chris Wood on the shoulder. I think that's highly beneficial for us. But yeah, I think you've got to look at it as well that's how it used to be. The striker got the benefit of the doubt. None of this, if you don't trim your pubes or you don't cut your toenails, you're offside. It's absolute nightmare. So what's the point?
Well,
I'm glad that's been scrapped. I really am.
Look, I know you're trying to get an advert for. I know you're trying to get a sponsor for Manscaped.com. Just so you could probably treat your missus or something. I don't know.
Mate, I'm regretting. I shaved my chest recently, right, and I'm regretting it because literally it's itching like mad.
Dan, to your point about the offsides, the offside rule, the offside change in terms of the lines being thicker is a very big welcome, because that means that any tight offsides will not be given, and all the obvious offsides that the linesman clearly misses will be overruled, which is correct. But the handball rule, it's a joke about how much they've changed that handball rule, because how is a referee, how are the players, how are the fans but to interpret a handball rule when they change it every 6 months? It doesn't do the world of football any good, it doesn't do the referees any good, and it makes it harder for us as referees to be able to interpret it, because when it changes so often, what is a handball? That's a question we've asked for years and they still haven't cleared it up, and they just need to really make it as clear and obvious as possible. If it's a clear handball and that leads up to a goal, it should, otherwise you get benefit of the doubt.
No, I think
massive. I agree.
I think what they need to do is that I think for every football fan will understand the rule if they come up with a set of rules saying this is going to be the handball rule and we ain't changing it. This is how it's going to stay. You make a decision what the rule is, right, and keep it, right? So if you're going to keep it like it is now, if you're going to say we're going to work it like this now and not change it next season, keep it that way, right? Don't go back on it and then say, oh, we don't think it's right, we're going to change it again. Because then that's when people don't understand, right? Because I've worked it out now what the rules are going to be. But then next season, right, if they change it again, we're like, well, what's the rule? Every football fan doesn't know the rule because they keep changing it. So stop changing it. Then we'll understand. Then we won't be moaning.
You don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about it. Next season, when you're in the EFL, it's all different.
Shut up. Right. Like, I know you probably finish higher than this season, but there's no need for that. Right. So yeah, but it's like I said, it's just like once you've made the rule, you've made the decision, leave it. Don't change it.
It's like that decision with like when you've what is it? The one where if you're jumping up, it's no longer a handball if you're jumping with your arms elevated.
Yeah.
You know, we all need momentum, and sometimes we all swing to jump up for a header with our arms.
But I've already seen instances where they've jumped up and there's been a handball. I think in the Euros it was doing that.
I mean, I can understand if somebody jumps up and they literally palm it away, like it looks like they're literally
like
doing
Maradona.
Yeah, if they're doing the best to literally try and, even take it into account that if they're looking at the fact that the ball's coming towards them and you see the hand go up just because of that, I think you've got to look at it like that. I mean, okay, they'll probably protest and say, no, it's not this, it's not that. And half of them will probably get given away, get just thrown to one side anyway. But I think it's good because you do see a lot of them sometimes given unnecessarily, and it's not fair.
The thing is, though, is that the rules that are made by IFAB. VAR came in to overturn clear and obvious decisions. It came in to stop referee error, but the rules constantly changing just increases human error because each referee sees the handball rule differently because it's not black and white in terms of what it is and what it isn't. So Mike D will give a different handball. Mike D will give a different handball to what Craig Parson does because the law is not clear enough to do it. So I don't understand why this keeps recurring because I don't understand how you could say what is and isn't a handball. And also some other things. How was that? I've already spoken about this. I don't get how that wasn't a foul on James Rotowski against Brighton. Done. I don't know how far did not overturn that. I think it was a clear shove in the back. It was such an obvious free kick. I don't know how it wasn't overturned.
I just got.
No, I agree. I do agree. To be fair, I think the best referee decision of that game was our opening goal. Morpé's blocking Tarkowski off. Tarkowski gives him a little shove to the floor. But what do you expect? If he's not blocking him off from a defensive perspective. He was literally, trying to shove him off the ball. And, the referee let it go and we scored and went 1-0 up. But, that, for me, just showed a few positives in where we're coming with referees. For me, VAR needs to be used for Derby because referees are still telling people to just get up.
Yeah.
They're telling people, just get up. No.
You're going to do it. Book them.
Don't even, you know what?
That's
don't
what
even book them because Buckingham means jack shit. Buckingham means jack shit these days. Send them straight off. Because at the end of the day, it's match fixing. It's match fixing. Send them off. They won't do it again.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not going to send them off, do the bare minimum what the rule says and book them. Like the rule says book them, so book them then. That's what the rule says. So stick to the rule. I just want to quickly move on. I just want to quickly bring up something. Something's just caught my. I was just looking up that source on the rules, and this has just caught my eye from the Tottenham game, which I'm not happy about. Ugly scenes at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as several Spurs fans invade the pitch, and there are scuffles in the away end where Man City supporters are seen pulling down the rainbow flag banner, but there's a reason for it. What? Fans on the pitch, Man City supporters remonstrate with their own players. City fans have untied this, but right. So, however, in some section of the ground, at a full-time whistle blew. Fake was at the stadium at TalkSport and brought us live updates on the sorry events after the game. As a number of fans broke onto the pitch, others struggled with security staff, and some pulled down a Spurs rainbow flag in the away end. There's a picture of it. in fact, right, just trying to get some more on this. That's disappointing from a there's now a bit of a scuffle breaking out in the corner as well, which is really disappointing to see. They've also unferried one of the Spurs LGBT proud lily white flags in the far corner. They've tried to get that pulled down and as they were leaving. This doesn't look good. Let me try and get some more on that. But yeah, what do you? I mean, that better not be towards about the actual community itself.
I'll tell you one thing on that, and I'll go back to prior to that game, like the Burnley Brighton game itself. You know, Brighton fans have come out and said that Burnley fans were booing the knee. Now,
what?
This is something that's really bugged me because, you know, everybody's got their own opinions, and I get that. But if the Premier League have said that they're going to do it, no, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I get that. But, you know, people are there to outclap the boos. And I'm not saying that, you know, every fan base is perfect. Every fan base has their, you know, people that are going to boo. There are people that are going to, you know, try and drown it out. But the fact that Brighton fans are going on about the fact of, oh, Burnley fans were booing, so Brighton fans, you know, started singing Marcus Rashford paid for your kids' meals and stuff like that. Started singing about that. Hold on a minute, there were Brighton fans booing as well. The thing that bugs me is that they've come out to tarnish Burnley once again. We've had this before with Brighton where, you know, the drama between Jay Rodriguez and Gaetan Bong at the time. You know, he came out and said it was a race issue. Jay Rodriguez said, no, I didn't. I just said he had smelly breath. And that was it. And I go back to the game against Leeds, you know, the McNeil and Alioski situation. You know, McNeil thought that was a racial slur, but Alioski said that he was, you know, pulling a crybaby face, but gripping your ears. You're not being a crybaby there, are you, really? So I don't know why that one got overturned. Either way, I just think there's a lot of fan bases out there that love to, you know, chastise everybody else's club and paint theirs as, you know, this perfect image. But it's not. Every single fan base will have a section that boos certain things. You know, just like you've got your group of teenagers that as soon as you score start trying to turn to away end and, you know, say, come on and stuff like that and try and rile them up. You're always going to get your idiots at clubs, and as I say, you've got it there with that Man City situation. You know,
yeah,
to do that's shocking in my opinion, especially when we're trying to, you know, get loads of things changed in football. You know, trying to make sure that everybody's inclusive. I just think, if anything, it just shows a negative sign, and it shows why people of like the LGBT community don't like attending football matches, because they feel singled out.
Yeah, absolutely. Long make. Big ups, lads. Let's show lads. Make sure it continues up the. Yeah, right. Whatever. He's got a fat chance of that happening. Yeah, it's terrible to see, and like everyone should have the right to be part of football. Everyone
100%.
should have the right. Yeah, I mean, not everyone has the right to have football. Everyone has the right. Brighton, no, look, that's a minority. A minority. Yeah, after. Yeah, Oh, was you there at the stadium on that day?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw your reply.
I wasn't the thing were, being the first game back for fans, and me being in the away section of the supporters, I only got into the stadium about 10 minutes into the game. So I'd missed all the taking the knee. I missed Tarkowski's goal. I basically watched us lose 2-0 in a nutshell.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it was not such a good result for you guys. Yeah, like, man, it's bullshit. Like, everyone's got a small section of fans. I mean, and it's wrong. So, but like I said, I'll keep highlighting the problem, because the only way you change it is if you keep talking about it. Don't ignore it. Don't also ignore it. Also, don't ignore any sort of discrimination, racism, or anything wrong like that, right? Wait, just because you have an agenda against one particular person. So say like you don't like Hamilton. Don't ignore the abuse he's got, right, recently, because you don't like Hamilton, right? I know plenty of people that don't like Hamilton. I know plenty of people who also have their own channel that don't like Hamilton. I also have plenty of people, right, that didn't respond when it was all over Twitter and on the news about his racism. Didn't respond in any way. Never responded at all. Just carried on. So
Is it wrong? It's wrong.
No, it's wrong. You have if you're going to stand up for racism and discrimination, call it out every time it happens.
Yeah.
Right. I don't care if it's a Tottenham. It's one of those. Whether it's a Tottenham player, Man United player, right? Even if it's like even if it's like Christian Horner's getting a xenophobic abuse, right? I'll still call it out. Still call it out. End of. So, because otherwise we're not going to be able to change the sport and change like society as a whole. Simple. So,
100%. 100%.
Thoughts on Tarkowski's goals? Should we be worried about the nuance? There might be a clawed applause as it's a full stadium on Sunday.
I think something about Arsenal fans trying to boycott that game.
I think they shouldn't have boycotted the game, mate. I don't think they should be turning up mate. I'm not spending any money on tickets, money on shirts, any merchandise, no nothing. Before anyone says this shirt came 2 years ago. Right? I'm not buying anything this season. Nothing from this club. Right? I've even think I was trying to see if I can get down to the protest on Sunday. Now I can't make the protest on Sunday. I'm not one enough, and I can't afford it. Right? I can't afford it. The tickets are extortionate on the trains. So, and I can't. And maybe when I be able to drive, then I can probably afford it. So, but at the minute, I'm also not well enough. So, yeah, I can't do it at the minute. But what I can do is we will be going live at 3 p.m., not 4 p.m. or 3:45 p.m. And we'll be going live with the protest ourselves. So, don't think that's channel one doing it.
You know, like Fabrizio Romano does those Twitch streams.
No, I don't know.
No, Fabrizio Romano does Twitch streams, and it's basically where he answers questions from people about things. And Arsenal fan did ask him about Arteta, and all he said is that Arteta is on limited time if results don't improve. So Arteta is on the fire line. You'll be happy to hear he's not safe, as some people thought he was.
Good. Well, about the ticket prices of clubs, that's a good point. But especially at Arsenal, we should complain. Right, we're getting that to watch this. So there we are.
I seen something about Wolves season tickets this year for £800, which I thought was extortionate for
what?
For the fact that people barely have any jobs at the moment. For £800 for season tickets.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. Like a season ticket at Burnley is only £380.
Have you got one?
I haven't, not this season. I've got myself into a bit of debt, so I need to get myself out of that before I put myself.
Yeah.
You know what it's like during lockdown. Everyone's spent more than what they've had.
Yeah.
Be it takeaways, be it just doing something because you're in the house, so you end up spending more on.
Yeah, you see
More.
problems around the
It's just been a nightmare. So yeah, I need to get myself out the crap. More to the point, I think I need to get myself out of this bath. So I'm going to leave you guys.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap up. We're gonna wrap it up now, anyways, because we're finished.
Yeah, I'll leave you guys to crack on. But thanks for having me on, Stephen.
Always.
Nice to see you again, Josh. As always.
Look after yourself.
And, take care, guys. And as I say, show Stephen and Josh's channel a lot of love because both boys deserve it.
Thank you.
Big up, and make sure you subscribe to Turfmaster TV as well. So, big up.
Cheers, pal. Right. Speak to you both in a bit.
Speak to you both in a bit. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap up anyway. So make sure to smash that like button as well. Smash the subscribe button. Josh, thanks for coming on as usual. We see if we could do this every week. Might do it every 2 weeks, just so we can get like more decisions and more time. More decisions to go over and stuff like that, unless it's been like a major big art story. So I'll wait to see if we're gonna do it next week or not. So, but sure, it might depend on like what decisions come from the games and everything.
So I'm here tomorrow night for the Chelsea Arsenal preview. So
yeah, man, don't forget tomorrow night.
I'm seeing you a lot. I'm seeing you a lot this week, haven't I?
Yeah, man. Don't forget tomorrow. I'm going to show you this from talk. I want to give you your opinion. I want people's opinions, so I can't choose. But I need to choose between these thumbnails. Let me have a look at these. Right, so I've either got this one, right, and then I've got this one.
That one.
That one?
Yeah,
I think that one. Yeah, I think that one. So I think we're gonna go for that one. So, but yeah, like I said, Monster CFC will be joining us. So, big, massive YouTuber, Chelsea YouTuber. So obviously, make sure you go subscribe to him as well as Josh as well. So that'll be for fun. We are back then for that stream at 8 p.m. tomorrow. 6 p.m. tomorrow will be Hot Off the Press show. So make sure you join us for that. And I'm live tonight on Football United TV with Football United Airways. Then I'm live at midnight with Sarcasm City TV. So that's going to be fun. So yeah, busy night tonight. So make sure to smash the like, smash the subscribe, smash the share button. And we'll see you. I'll see you guys tomorrow on here tomorrow at 6 p.m. Until then, take care. Bye-bye. If I can find it.